Yeah, well, we all live in Nazi Germany, apparently, which, again, it's just remarkable. I thought the war ended like 80 years ago. I'm wondering how many decades this can possibly go on for, right? Because at this point, it's not even just boomers. And now the millennials like, well, everything's Nazis. And it's like, okay. So are the grandchildren of the millennials going to be like, well, I mean, it's just like Nazi Germany, isn't it? Like in 500 years' time, will we still be going on about Nazi Germany?
I think yes. The reason being that...
I think yes.
No, I'm not even joking.
I know.
So, like, when you talk to these people, the reason they'll have the historical narrative, right,
Yeah.
that the average normie will have in the modern age in our time is, like, slavery, then civil rights... slavery, then the war, civil rights, that's about it. Well, they know about the Holocaust, civil rights, and that's it. And I think it's the same in any other time period. Like, if you're a kid learning after Napoleon, like, the founding fiction of your current world order is about Napoleon.
Yeah.
And ever since World War II, I mean, that is the founding fiction of our entire world order. It's how we think about everything. You can't go 5 minutes talking foreign policy before someone's like, yeah, well, that guy, Hitler. You're just like, shut up. But so in 500 years, yeah, there will be generations being like, oof.
Well, I just hope there's been some sort of massive catastrophe so we can reset the clock and we can have a different form of villain. Like someone else can be Hitler this time.
Your New Year's wish is something worse than World War II.
In about 100 years, I'm just hoping for a much worse catastrophe. Right, that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Right.
Can a man ask for too much?
Yeah, no, exactly. Am I wrong to just want to have a different villain for once? Like this was the disappointment about 9/11. Really, it's like no one, no one.
Yeah, the real sad thing about 9/11 was what?
No. You can't understand, right? In the beginning of the early 2000s, you would have thought that 9/11 would have reset the clock on the latest villain, but nobody's like, oh yeah, he's basically like Bin Laden. Like Bin Laden's still overshadowed by Hitler, right?
Yeah, that was really his biggest fault. Is he didn't go.
I'm not saying that was his biggest fault. What I'm saying,
sure you were hoping for, was it?
No, what I'm saying is like you can see how like we're still trapped in this post-World War II mindset, and I'm just really tired of it.
There's no Bin Laden of the week, but there is a Hitler of the week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway, before we go on, if you want to have a more sensible discussion than the one we're having currently, go to lotus.com, sign up, and enjoy the latest debate that Josh had about the concept of euthanasia, whether we should be for or against it. I'm not going to tell you how I land on that.
No, I mean, my opinion's strictly changed after doing this podcast.
Yeah, I'm starting to become pro.
Yeah.
Anyway, and in fact, after this segment, I'm probably going to become pro-euthanasia. The entire Conservative Party in Minecraft. Anyway, jokes aside, we have been struggling in the UK with illegal immigration because apparently literally being an island surrounded by sea isn't sufficient protection from people invading the country. And they've been doing this for the past 3 years, and there's been increasing in number. And the Conservatives, as we've covered many, many times, have done literally nothing about it. And so we've returned to the Rwanda plan.
I know you still can't take it seriously.
Well, why should I? Why should I take it seriously? Like Suella Braverman, like the latest person on the chopping block to fail at just deporting a migrant.
I thought you were still hung up on the whole "it's Rwanda" thing.
Oh, I am, but look, we'll get to that in a second, actually,
right,
when Suella explains to us why Rwanda is such a great place. But it's just there's a distinct kind of Groundhog Day effect to this. It's like, we're back to the Rwanda plan again, and nothing's going to happen again. And then next year they'll be like, right, so we're actually going to deport some illegal immigrants to Rwanda. And then the next year, and I'm just so tired of it. Because, I mean, LBC are like, look, Suella Braverman has been constructively talking to the European courts. Say, hang on, what didn't we give them the middle finger collectively? Why aren't we, coming out of the European human rights legislation and just getting rid of these people who shouldn't be in this country? Why is that not happening?
Because Brexit didn't mean Brexit, apparently.
Apparently so. Because the Conservatives don't have a 350 or 380 majority.
No, I think they're in a coalition with Bin Laden.
No, it turns out they're in a coalition with Hitler.
Okay, right, yeah.
Could have guessed. Anyway, let's watch Braverman's video explaining how this is finally going to happen.
I'm delighted to be here in Kigali, meeting with the Rwandan government to discuss our joint migration and economic development partnership. This partnership will see people who make dangerous and illegal journeys to the UK, such as by small boat, resettled in Rwanda, where they will be protected and supported to build a new life. Rwanda is one of the world's fastest growing economies, one of the world's safest countries, and has a proud track record of hosting and integrating refugees.
It's one of the world's safest countries. There was a small blip in the 90s, but
that's all true though, and it's
I'm
right.
sure it's true.
But actually speaking, you know that green text that's
Yeah.
just like, I found out my dad's a Rwandan genocide denier?
Yeah.
He just starts whispering about Tutsi lies.
Yeah.
I was just imagining she was like, oh, I met the leader of Rwanda. He told me all about the Tutsi lies. The Hutus didn't do nothing.
Rwanda's just a safe and prospering upcoming African country. I don't know what you're talking about. Right?
They're actually one of the most progressive countries on earth.
They probably are. Yeah.
We went through their parliament. They have, I think it's like 50% of their seats are ordained for women. Not because they are in a party and are a woman, but no, just for women.
But they probably define women as adult human females, don't they?
Oh, they do.
So yeah, there we go. Turf country. Anyway, so just like the Nazis as well, the Conservatives censored all the media outlets. And when I say censored, right? When I say censored, I mean didn't invite them on the plane to travel to Rwanda with the Conservative Party.
Yeah, I mean, in effect, they censored, I think, just about all of the population by about 5 people.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because I didn't get my plane ticket.
Yeah,
Did you get a plane ticket?
Lotus.com didn't get a single invitation from the Conservative Nazi Party.
What state oppression?
Yeah, I mean, literally, right? Martin Bright, Index on Censorship's editor-at-large, says, "We are concerned here that journalists from organisations judged to be critical of the government's immigration policy have not been invited to accompany the Home Secretary on her trip to Rwanda." Why would you think they would be?
I thought we'd get a free plane trip.
Yeah.
And free food and free hotels.
We spend all day, every day, telling you that you're Nazi scum, and you're not even going to invite us on the plane to come and call you Nazi scum in Rwanda.
Nothing
That's
was
remarkable.
I know, but like, nothing was stopping them from buying a plane ticket and hotel to report on her journey.
No,
She just wouldn't be in the room with her.
and when we call this censorship, none of them have, of course, been prevented on reporting on this. They just wanted the government to pay for them to do it. Anyway, Braverman went to Rwanda to have a look at the facilities, and to be honest with you, right, they look pretty good, actually. Like, there's lots of Rwandans who seem to think this is a good idea, and it's like, yeah, okay, great. That's brilliant. Obviously, I mean, it's been 11 months since this deal has been brokered with the Rwandans. If you want to just play that video, John, and with the sound off, so people can see, like...
The facilities.
Yeah, because, I mean, honestly, it kind of looks like a nice
Rwanda is
holiday
ready.
hotel. And it's just like, look, I would have to pay thousands of pounds to go and live and spend a couple of weeks in a hotel like that.
Well, no, not in Rwanda. It's a bit cheaper, but yeah, hundreds of pounds.
No,
for
it's
sure.
it's literally the plane ticket over there is going to cost you £1,000.
Oh, yeah.
If not more. And then, you know,
What?
£700, whatever it is for the week.
I checked because Adol Ray was whining about how he didn't get a free plane ticket either.
Oh, didn't he?
So I just responded with the Kiwi link. You could buy the plane next day,
Hmm.
return after 2 days at 580 quid.
Brilliant.
So it's not even like some horrendously expensive trip to the middle of nowhere.
I will literally pay to deport Adol Ray as well.
But I'll pay for him just go for a weekend, so I have the list up.
Can we get him integrated? But you look at it, right? It looks actually really nice, and it looks like a modern hotel. It's like, okay, well, that's fine. But it's been 11 months since we agreed this deal, so we've been paying Rwanda presumably the whole time. No one's been sent. Like, literally no one's been sent, because the European Court of Human Rights has decided that Britain doesn't get to control its own borders. No, within 3 to 6 months, the Rwandan government will ensure that migrants are housed and integrated into local communities, Miss Braverman said with unrelenting optimism. No, that's not going to happen, obviously.
It could. There's nothing physically stopping us.
Yes, I know there's nothing physically stopping
Just want to remind
us.
people. It's just
Of course,
the
there's
European
nothing
Court of Human
physically
Rights.
stopping us.
Some international atom which has no authority over us other than what we allow it to
Yes.
is the thing stopping us.
I mean, it could have been on day one. The Conservatives just ended it. But
that's the thing for the international bodies. I mean, the Conservative Party could turn around and be like, well, look, Adol Ray's Twitter account has blocked us from doing this. It would have just as much authority
They could, yeah.
as the European Court of Human Rights. Like, they're completely sovereign. They're just agreeing to this outside thing for no reason.
Gary Lineker put up a protest on Twitter and said, well, we can't do it.
We're legally obliged, I've heard.
Yeah.
So
But anyway, if you
you
go
make
to,
the law.
go to your tweet here, John, this was like, just look, it's got a swimming pool. Got a bloody swimming pool. I would have to pay to go to a place like that.
Yep.
It's
Still cheaper than the
insufferable.
hotels we put them in here as well.
Undoubtedly it is. But of course, sending them to a place with a heated pool is, of course, evil, right? It's just evil. Because Suella Braverman arrived at what I'm just going to describe as the concentration camp. Maybe I should just call it the extermination camp to be more accurate, right? And she laughed, right? Now, she was clearly here laughing at the idea of exterminating illegal immigrants.
No, no one's ever taken a photo out of context. So
No. That's all Suella Braverman laughs about, in fact.
yeah, but it's lunch with her. It's amazing.
Yeah. She's quiet the whole way, and then she just starts cackling. Like, what's so funny? It's, I'm going to get rid of those illegals. Well, how are you going to do it? Well, machete season's coming up in Rwanda, lads. Like, what? So she's having a laugh at the extermination camp in Rwanda.
This is actually what they think she believes, though.
Yeah. And I still want to point out, I don't care about Suella Braverman at all. I despise the Conservative Party. I think all the Conservatives are traitors, frankly. But never mind evil. How thick do you have to be to not get how this looks?
What do you mean?
This looks awful, does it? Just, I mean, I suppose.
Lady laughing.
But the thing is, like, if we go to the next one, you got Princess Shola. This is not a doctored photo of Suella Braverman.
Yes, it is.
Well, doctored is an interesting word, right? Doctored is an interesting word. It's not a doctored photo. It's like, yeah, but it's a photo of her standing there having a laugh. Like, she's not, like, on a pile of skulls, like your grandfather. No, I'm joking. I don't know about that. It fully captures...
I don't know. The Nigerian royalty ever done anything wrong?
Never. It fully captures her joy of the facility. She plans to deport trafficked victims of modern slavery, refugees and asylum seekers to Rwanda. This image will epitomize her forever. The picture of a failed human being.
Hang on, why is
She's
that?
the Home Secretary. Like, you can call her whatever you want, but that's not failure.
No, but that doesn't even make sense. It's like, okay, if we take people who are currently being enslaved, trafficked as slaves, we get them as the government, and then we hand them over to the Rwandan government for processing in these hotels. They're no longer slaves. They're outside of the slaver's reach.
Well, you would have thought that, but Suella Braverman's laughing here.
I suppose they're just carrying on being slaves.
Exactly. And, I mean, you remember Stop Brexit Man, don't you?
Which one?
Stop Brexit!
Oh, that twat.
Yeah, Steve Bray was like, yeah, why don't I just Photoshop her in front of Auschwitz?
I mean, he doesn't have any taste.
I mean,
so I don't know why I'm shocked.
There's literally no moral difference to sending them to a hotel in Rwanda and Auschwitz.
Steve Bray's going to turn into one of those Holocaust deniers. You know those like propaganda films? They're like, oh, they've got a swimming pool. There's a hopscotch area. Steve Bray's going to... It's just the same thing.
Okay, just to be clear, right? We don't actually think that Steve Bray thinks that there was a swimming pool at Auschwitz.
Not yet. I mean, I'm predicting future tweets. What I think he might tweet if he actually believes this is like the 1930s.
But of course, once this train got rolling...
Oh, God.
Right?
Oh, do people actually run with that?
Yes, they did. Like, if you scroll down here, right, Steve Bray begins this, and if you keep going down, you see, oh, suddenly... I mean, this lad is a Jewish lad. His grandfather survived Auschwitz. He made a scale model of it. And so if you go to the previous image, they decide to shop in Suella Braverman overseeing it because they seem to think that the Rwandan hotel is literally a death camp. Labour MPs chimed in. What have we become, Callum? What have we... If we go to the next one, it keeps going. I mean, it keeps going.
Is this part of the Labour strategy to not be looked as anti-Semites anymore? To be like, the Holocaust wasn't that big thing. It was everything, really.
Yeah, it was the only thing that ever happened. Yeah. But yeah, so, you know, what have we become? It's like, well, we've become people who care about our borders.
We trust Rwanda again? Do you not? Why so?
Anna Soubry, the most relevant person in the world, chimed in.
We're using the same resolution.
Yeah, it's all the same photo, isn't it? It's interesting how this particular photo of Suella Braverman reveling in the genocide of the refugee race went around.
International race of refugees.
Yes.
Comes in all colours and creeds.
No dignity, happy to trash our international reputation. Thick as mints ideologues with no compassion or understanding of the plight of the people fleeing war, persecution and oppression. Average Albanian man. We are so much better than this rotten conservative government. Well, cuck party are they?
I love how this globalist here is just like, oh, you know, the ideologues, they're to blame.
Yeah.
Like, literally all you do every day is be like, rejoin European Union.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nazir Afzal, he had a nice take. This is where we put all your modern slavery victims.
in which case
in
they
a
wouldn't.
death camp. Yeah.
But again, like the nAzI is not a stupid guy, so this is what makes me weirded out by this.
Isn't he?
He's a leftist, but he's not completely retarded, and so him being like, we send them here, and he must know that at that point they're outside of the reach of the slavers. So this doesn't even make sense. Whatever. I don't know what I'm trying to reason with this.
You want to hear a footballer's interpretation of this? Not Gary Lineker this time.
Sure.
Let's go for the next one.
Well, the real spokesman of the
Just
world.
sad.
Gary
Just
Neville.
sad. Gary Neville, football pundit and footballer turned left-wing activist.
It will be hilarious though to see so many Albanians end up in Rwanda. Because just like barely any of them seem to know English, so they're not going to know we're even having this conversation. Just one day, all of their criminals they were sending through the illegal routes. So just hang on a minute.
I mean, it's literally like a third of the migrants that come across are Albanian. So
just relocate Kosovo to Rwanda, and international friction falls.
I'm going through this list in order of people I find important and their reactions. So the next one below Gary Neville is Jeremy Corbyn.
Oh, rightly so.
But I love Corbyn saying, the asylum seekers of today are our doctors, carers, teachers, neighbours, and friends of tomorrow. Just end it. Yeah.
Oh, God. Who among them isn't a rocket scientist? I don't know.
Possibly the guy who stabbed that chap in the back because he wanted to get deported back to Iraq.
Well, he was a blacksmith.
Oh. Well, I mean...
Fleeing knife crime.
The knife is there and I'm going this way. Jeremy.
It's just every time, though. The same goddamn stupid rhetoric.
But I just love the idea that every doctor working for the NHS is just an asylum seeker.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, well, I was looking for safety, but they conscripted me into the NHS and now I can't leave.
Mandatory service.
Yeah, exactly.
I love the idea. It's actually not him saying that they're all doctors. No, they will be doctors, whether they like it or not. Just throw the Albanians into the brain surgery ward.
Yeah, anyway, let's go to James O'Brien, who had a brilliant take.
Oh, did he?
You know, of course he did. The asylum... Oh, no, that was wrong. Exactly 200 years after William Wilberforce... William Wilberforce? What's this got to do with people breaking into the country? Well, he founded the Anti-Slavery Society, and here's Suella Braverman at a facility to which she hopes to deport trafficked victims of modern slavery.
Does James know what William did with the freed slaves?
No, of course he doesn't. But he also seems to think that literally every single person who's invaded this country illegally is a slave. He doesn't understand that they are paying thousands of euros to get on those boats, to get here. He hasn't seen the TikToks of the Albanians saying 4,000 euros and we can get you into Britain.
I think we calculated the profit. It was like 300 grand per boat profit.
Yeah, he hasn't seen any of that because James O'Brien doesn't know anything about anything, right? And John is right, yes, it also implies that he wants to keep the slaves in this country.
These are my slaves, damn you.
Well, no, think about the economic growth, Callum.
You know what's tragic? They will actually make that argument in a vacuum.
Yeah,
They'll be like, well, these people raise the GDP, they pay taxes. Like,
yeah. James, aren't they all slaves? It's like, well, yeah.
But also just the idea, I mean, William Wilberforce would free the slaves and then take them to the nearest safe port and deport them, for lack of a better word, from their slavers. So you drop them back off
But, I mean, you
in
might
Africa
think that's
or in
what
the
they
Caribbean.
want, right? I was captured. I was taken from my home. I'd like to be returned there if possible.
So that's my point, is if we're actually capturing slaves in the channel and we send them to that hotel, we're taking them away from the hands of the slavers.
We're actually doing what William Wilberforce did.
But James disagrees because he'd like to keep the slaves.
Because our GDP was up.
Yeah, this is not the only thing to this.
So this photo, again, as John was posting on Twitter, this is the real photo, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, so really.
It might have been that Her Royal Highness was lying about it being doctored.
It might be. All those two Rwandan people next to her are also like, yeah, isn't it funny how you're deporting a bunch of slaves?
Hutu and a Tutsi being like, no, my brother was. Got Albanians to deal with.
Yeah. Obviously, one of them just told the joke. Sweller's laughing at the joke.
Yeah.
They're all laughing at the joke. They're all like, yeah, this is good for everyone involved.
I wonder what the Rwandans make of these conversations. People are like, you're building a death camp.
They probably think we're mad. Right?
Yeah.
They probably think we're legitimately insane. But we're going to give them hundreds of millions of pounds to take these randos and just stick them in a hotel that we probably paid for. So it's like, okay, we'll take your money. We don't care. We literally don't care.
That is actually insane now you think about it.
It is mental.
Like, if you had no idea what's going on in the West, and some Westerners turn up and were like, hey, we're going to pay you to...
Some Indian lady turns up and goes, "Hi, I'm here from Britain. Would you like to take some Albanians and we'll pay you hundreds of millions of pounds?" They're like, okay.
Well, I mean, we're really thinking about how to make money, but this will do.
Yeah, this just drops in our lap. So anyway, yeah, obviously, when they say this isn't a doctored photo, I mean, technically it's not doctored, it's cropped, right? So anyway, the point being, though, this is, of course, nothing like the Nazis, and all discussions about this subject turn into this cartoon. They're detaining illegal immigrants exactly like the Holocaust, and, of course, the Nazi chasing them out of the death camps.
Next time, brother.
It's just so stupid. It's so stupid. This got memed on by people on the right, obviously, because, I mean, like, obviously, Suella Braverman, average member of the British Union of Fascists. Britain continues its slide into fascism in the hands of white supremacist Indian politicians, no less. For the historians among you, this is beat for beat exactly what happened in the little-known historical period 1930s Germany. Google Adolf Hitler.
I love the idea that you would actually have to tell these people, Google Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
Because they don't know.
No.
I mean, to make these comparisons, I mean, you either have to be so dishonest or actually ignorant. I think a lot of them are genuinely just completely ignorant of the world.
I think that Jeremy Corbyn and James O'Brien, people like that, have no idea the composition of the people coming across the channel. I bet they don't know that they're 90% adult males between 18 and 35. I bet they don't know that. You know, they don't know any of these things. If you can get to the next one, he's got another good joke here. I found the real image that was cropped. If you can scroll down a bit.
We find out.
There we go.
There we are.
There's the real undoctored image.
Didn't go to Argentina. He went to Rwanda.
Suella was like, maybe including Hitler and Goebbels, I think it is, in the actual image of the Rwandan death camp.
The civil servant he took the photo was like, maybe I should just give that back.
Yeah, I'll airbrush that guy out. You know, he's got a bad reputation. I just Googled him. We want him in there. But just to end on this, remember the EU are in favour of deporting their illegal immigrants, as we talked about yesterday. They are literally encouraging European countries to deport these illegal immigrants. So it's like, I mean, and there is one thing on which Steve Bray and I actually agree. As sure as night follows day, this time next year, the amount of illegals sent to Rwanda will be zero. Nada, zilch.
Yeah, I mean, this is the funny thing. Like, the right and the left of the country are able to accurately assess that the Conservative Party failed consistently, that now we can accurately say they're going to fail again on this.
Yes. They've
set themselves up to not get rid of the European Court of Human Rights and therefore will not do this.
Yes. Steve Bray, outflanking the Conservatives from the right here,
but
complains that none of them will be deported and it will cost millions that were sent to France.
But what's funny is the right of the country rightly identifies that and goes, well, it's basically a big nothing burger then.
Yes.
But the left are pretending to have S in their pants over this.
Yes.
But they know it's not true.
Yes.
I mean, there's double levels of dishonesty. Not only is the application, it's the 30s again, ridiculous, but they all know it's not even going to happen.
Yes. It's preposterous. Everything about this is just sort of political kabuki theatre. Nothing is going to happen. Everyone's an idiot. And it's just a way of the left really covering themselves in glory. I mean, look at that spitting image puppet. This is lovely. It's
meant to be so. I really dislike the new season. I never liked the original splitting image, to be honest. I don't know why people talk about it like it was good.
I was too young to remember it, really.
I think, honestly, people who think about splitting image used to be great. And
spitting image.
This is the thing. I don't even care. I think, honestly, it was always a crap show. There just wasn't enough on back then.
Probably.
Whole other conversation.
Yeah.
But
anyway, so yeah, nothing's going to happen and we live in Nazi Germany. Moving on.
If you appreciated that segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content that's on the site, such as the Symposium series, this episode on What is Love. If you'd like to find out what else is being put out, you can follow on Getter at lotuseaters_com on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.